Alright, welcome back to the Nub. We've taken a little bit of a hiatus. I am the Merce.
Hey, it's Felton.
And it's been a long time, guys. We have to apologize for that, but we are actually going through a whole kind of rebranding, actually. We're going to be changing the Nerds United. It will no longer be just the Nerds United in Brevard. We are going to actually add an extra B, because we can do that. We get that extra B money. And now we will be called Nerds United in Brevard and Beyond. The change will probably take place next week, so look for that. Basically, we're just going to add an extra B to the end of the Nub, but that way we can incorporate people from all over the country.
From beyond,
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, from other dimensions. I mean, we got this whole Mandela thing going on. So you know, what was it that
time traveling warlock?
That hydrogen collider in Switzerland has changed everything for us. So
here it's pretty large.
Yeah, that's the whole name, right? Anywhoozy, that's gonna be my new thing from now on. Anywhoozy, think that's gonna work?
No, I don't think anybody's gonna like it.
I'm gonna drop that right now. Then, all right. So a couple things to go over real quick, kind of like housekeeping stuff, especially since it's been so long since we've done a Nerd United Brevard podcast. We're adding a couple new admins. I know that you've probably seen some posts by Bearded Bard. His name's Stony. His name's Beelzebub. His name's Stony Williams. He's actually a freelance indie writer. He won a Mad Cave Studio comic book contest along with me, and we've become friends since. He has a comic book that'll be coming out, I believe, next year. And yeah, pretty excited about that. We also have Mr. Travis Gibb. A lot of you guys know Travis Gibb. He's very big in the indie comic community locally. He's known at most of the stores, goes to a lot of cons, just a really cool guy. So he's going to be another one of our admins. I don't know what name he's going to go by yet because we just talked about it today. And also, once we get the funds up for it, we are going to get a camera so we can start doing YouTube videos instead of just the podcast. We'll be filming ourselves so you can actually see how goofy we look while we do our podcast.
Oh, I plan on wearing a mask or editing myself out with face rig, so I'll be a virtual character.
Oh, okay. Can you do the blurred thing out for me and like change the voice and stuff like that? So it's like, today in the news of the Nerd Podcast. You know what I'm saying?
I saw him in the garage. I identified him. It was definitely him, and now I have to protect my identity.
So, Mr. Felton, man, like, what's been going on this little hiatus we've been on?
Well, I mean, we were on hiatus, but the truth is I went out for cigarettes and just didn't come back.
I knew it. Just like my father.
I couldn't help it. That was the first thing that came to my mind. It's terrible.
Well, every episode now, first off, our episodes will be shorter now. We're going to go down to approximately 30 minutes. We feel that an hour is probably too long for most people wanting to tune in, but we might do like hour specials. But right now we're going to do the 30-minute thing and see if that might help a lot with getting more people to listen. If you do like the podcast, please share it, like it, let everybody know. Stop people on the streets, give them your headphones, like listen to this, get earpods.
Have you heard this? Have you heard this clip? This is amazing.
I mean, you got the earpods now, right? You can just take it out, just put it in somebody else's ear.
That's hygienic.
Yeah. Well, you lick it first. I mean,
it's disgusting. I've been using Q-tips for years. I think I need to go have my
head examined.
My eardrums irrigated.
Your eardrums irrigated,
or whatever they do. I feel like I can't put any pressure on my ear because it hurts.
Oh well, I mean, you might have cancer, like ear cancer.
Probably.
Oh my God, you might have one of those fantastic YouTube video things with the insect inside the head. You know what I'm talking about?
Don't tell me that. I had a kid put a bug in my ear in summer camp.
Oh,
I've told you about that horrific experience.
No, you haven't. But please share that with our listeners.
My mother sent me to I don't even know what it was. Maybe it was Pentecostal. Maybe they were Baptist. I have no clue.
They had their own camp, though.
But yeah, it was a camp, like specifically for this. And one of the many, many great experiences there during we were, going to bed one night, and some kid was putting earwigs. You know those awful looking bugs, and they have piercers.
With the piercer on the other side, yeah.
He was dropping them in people's ears, and of course I freaked out, and with my OCD, I developed a compulsion. Worried about eggs being laid in my brain by a bug. Mm-hmm. So that was great. So yeah, this kid drops an earwig in my ear when I'm trying to sleep, and for probably about 15 years after that, I had to sleep with the covers over my head. Because I was always afraid that somebody was going to put earwigs in my ears.
So this kid was like a big fan of Star Trek. What, 2? Was that the one with where the guy puts the?
Was that Khan, right?
Yeah,
Khan. Put the worms in people's ears. That probably had something to do with it too.
That's what you should have done. You should have sat up and yelled at him. Khan!
Yeah. No, I was just upset and I thought I was going to die.
Oh, see, I laugh at your tragedy. Obviously,
I mean, looking back, that's pretty funny.
Didn't you share another like really funny childhood memory when we were getting ramen this last weekend?
Yeah, when we were playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right.
I did share that with you, and that was a very
that was a personal thing that you don't want to talk about.
Childhood defining on the
memory. Podcast. Well, I think we should delve into that right now. I think
all right.
Listeners need to hear this.
So, if you remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time game, there were these cheese monsters. That looked, I mean, it was from Aliens.
I don't know how they didn't get sued. I have no idea.
They really should have.
They look exactly like xenomorphs.
And they were made of cheese.
Just yellow.
Cheesomorphs. Okay, so you had the cheesomorphs. Maybe it fell under parody, and they were just like, haha, that's funny. Let's just let them do it. It's
maybe.
a show.
You think Ridley Scott's got that kind of sense of humor? He was just like, or do you think, well, first off, do you think Ridley Scott was watching
probably
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or playing the games or anything? Or?
Probably. Wasn't it? Didn't he direct it? And it was H.R. Geiger that designed the xenomorphs?
H.R. Geiger designed them, yeah. But well, either one. You think I could see H.R. Geiger sitting in his horrifically decorated living room with all these xenomorph things and just disgusting like crazy alien
everything looks
sci-fi
like it's made
things.
of whale rubber.
Yes, just sitting in his living room with his TV on, watching the Ninja Turtles, and then these cheese xenomorphs come on. And he goes, "Oh my god!" That's funny.
Yeah, he just loves it. He's like, that's amazing. And then just that single tear rolls down his eye because he knows he's finally made it because cartoons are doing parodies of his work. And then that's a beautiful story. Well, for me, it wasn't a beautiful story because I don't remember quite the order of operations here. But at one point, I was eating pizza and the cheese was getting slightly cold. And it somehow solidified in my throat.
Yeah,
and got caught.
What do they call it? It was starting to. It was becoming gelatinous or something.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So I had to pull this huge string of cheese out my throat because I couldn't swallow it, and it was horrifying. Somewhere there and abouts, I saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cheese monsters, and again, I don't know which combination came first, but somehow that triggered my crazy brain, and I thought that was the pizza trying to impregnate me. So I would not eat cheese on pizza until I got therapy and overcame the most of my OCD. But yeah, I just wouldn't eat cheese on pizza, and it pissed off my parents so badly.
I just want you to know that of all the things from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in regards to food, the fact that just plain cheese, becoming a cheese monster is what scares you. Not their anchovies and spam combinations or anything, any of the weird stuff that they want as toppings on their pizza. It was actually the xenomorphic cheese monsters.
Well, because the xenomorphs burst out of your chest, Mm-hmm. I mean, I think at the time I realized they were aliens, or I'm not quite sure. That was a long time ago.
Well, if you're lactose intolerant, I believe the cheese xenomorphs bust out your butt, actually. I think that's...
Well, I don't eat dairy anymore, so that's basically true. When I eat cheese, I get a horrific xenomorph.
Horrific xenomorph.
Speaking of which, have you seen this gentleman's dragonborn armor from Skyrim?
I have not. No, is this a cosplay?
Yeah, it's a cosplay. It's amazing. That's an
interesting segue. Go
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you'll see in a minute. So this guy has amazing armor, and then he does a 4 or 5 minute video, sped up, of putting this entire costume on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching this, I'm going, wow, this is great. And then I'm like, oh man, I got to go to the comment section. So I make the comment. I say, man, don't get me wrong, that armor looks amazing. But what happens after you eat con food and you have to fuss row da? Tons of likes on this comment, and everybody's like, oh, A good point. Fair amount of people have had con food.
Yeah, they understand. They understand the experience. I gotta say though, at MegaCon this year, we found those rice balls. I guess they're called oni.
Oh, those are rice triangles. I mean, I'm sorry,
but they are rice triangles. You're right. But they were oni something or another. You know, Foxtail would know. But man, they were amazing. I never thought about like just straight up tuna fish, you know, like tuna, like with the mayonnaise and stuff like that, you know, just regular out of a can tuna fish put into a rice ball, like just elevating it to this next level.
That was cuisine. That was
my God.
And the the packages are like, they're
adorable.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Your hands stay clean.
I really wish I had figured out how to use them properly at first.
Well, you know, you just got to look at it. Apparently, I didn't figure it out.
I didn't either. So. I had to get the deliciousness on the inside. So, but let me tell you, man, I am definitely looking for that kind of con food again. That was fantastic.
I hope they're back there. You know, it's already, you know, they're already advertising MegaCon 2020 in April, and
I gotta tell you, like, with how good this last MegaCon was, I'm down. Like, MegaCon Orlando this year was amazing. It was I had one of the best cons I've had yet was at this Orlando MegaCon. It was fantastic.
I'm looking forward to going this year.
And now they've shut down the trash that was the Tampa MegaCon. I can say that now.
God.
Because
how many cons do they have over there now? Because I see the advertisement. Tampa Bay Comic Con, Dice Tower Con.
Well, There's
another big one.
Dice Tower Con is cool. The Tampa Bay.
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying, you know, it's like they're saturated.
The Tampa Bay Comic Con was good, but the Tampa Bay MegaCon was absolutely atrocious. Like, we got, I know I talked about this before last year, before we went on hiatus, but
that's what caused it.
Exactly.
It was just devastating.
I just couldn't. I couldn't live with my life. On a scale of 1 to even, I couldn't. You know.
Yeah.
But like me and Foxtail, we got yelled at all the time. You know, we got pushed around. We got moved from this place to that place, and I was like, "What is going on?" But I found out what happened was they had the actual security from the con or from the convention center there, along with the con people. And normally at most cons, the security just kind of like stays by the doors and stays out of the way and isn't really involved in anything. It's the volunteers that run the con. You know, not this year, man. Not at Tampa Con. They were up your butt the whole time, and I was livid.
Sounds
we left there. Yeah. Oof. Anything up your butt.
It's almost
not,
as if you could say that you weren't receiving the VIP treatment.
No, I was definitely being given the VIP treatment.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not a good time. But yeah, I'm absolutely 100% down. We've actually already bought our hotel for next year for
very much
for MegaCon Orlando. Yes, and of course we've already got our hotel and tickets for Dragon Con this year. Very excited about that.
I got to get all my. I'm gonna pack now. Like, you don't even understand.
Start right this minute.
So I'm back to days, as you know we discussed prior. I'm now a real human again. Right?
Yeah, we finally have Felton back to. He's back on the whole day shift thing now. So I'm the only one working night shift now. But
hey, you managed it way better than me. I've
been doing it for so long. Like sometimes I feel like a vampire. Like I wake up in the morning or not in the morning. Sorry, I wake up in the evening or afternoon.
What?
Sun like hits me in the eyes. Like,
is that show What We Do in the Shadows and the accompanying film?
Pretty much exactly my life.
Just your life.
Pretty much exactly my life.
That's nice. You can have vampire meetings.
Yep. I sometimes soak people's blood after they eat edibles. Like,
well, I wondered why you had an old man that lived in a coffin in your basement and occasionally ate homeless people. But
that's just a kink. That has nothing to do with.
Oh well. Okay.
I don't even know that guy.
Oh well, that's a good thing I contained that.
Yeah, that would have sucked if you spit that all over the gaming table.
All over the laptop.
On the laptop.
I started a fire. I would have burned to death. That's what the gypsy said would happen to me.
Yep, exactly what she said. Oh man. So every episode now we're definitely doing a comic book kind of news thing. Nothing big, just whatever comic book news I feel like talking about because it's our podcast. And and the same with video game news. We're going to do some video game news again. Whatever video game news Felton feels like talking about. So I think this podcast will start off with Felton on the gaming news.
Well, to backtrack a little bit.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I've been waiting for Resident Evil 2, the remake, to get released. It was, I don't know if amazing is a good enough description of this game, but have you played it yet?
No.
Okay. It's absolutely amazing. They completely they managed to keep the story, but they were able to create a whole new experience with this game.
Do they still have the giant tarantula that you have to kind of kill with the bazooka?
I think that was more the first game.
No, there was a giant tarantula in the second game.
No, I don't remember.
I played the second game several times.
I don't remember the huge tarantula.
Yeah,
I remember
I think it took place in the sewer. If you guys can, just put in the comments, let me know if I'm completely wrong, because that's usually how it works when Felt and I get into an argument. I'm usually 100% wrong, but I'm pretty sure in the original, there was at one point in time, I think maybe in the sewers or something like that, when you play as the guy, what's his name? Chris, yes.
Well, that's Resident Evil 1.
Resident Evil 2, you've not...
1 and 3 had the spiders, and I'm pretty sure they weren't in 2.
2, you still had two characters, right?
Yeah, Leon and Claire.
Leon, that's it.
Oh,
Leon's
okay.
the one I'm thinking of, not Chris. Leon.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're trying to escape Raccoon City, right? Because that's what the whole premise of the game is. You're trying to escape Raccoon City, correct?
Yeah, hook up data.
Yeah, at one point in time, you get into the sewers, and I can't remember if it was Leon or the girl. I'm pretty sure it was Leon. You had to take on a giant spider.
I remember the spiders in 1 and in 3, but not 2. And they're not in the remake.
I think there's been a giant spider in almost every Resident Evil game.
They weren't in the remake, to my knowledge. I mean, maybe I'm having a whole messed up memory of it. I mean, it was pretty terrifying. They focused a lot more on like the visuals and like the body horror aspect of it.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it was spoiler alert. If you haven't played it yet, what's wrong with you? Birkin,
work and writing
you remember that Birkin turns into this huge monstrosity. This version of him is just absolutely incredible. I mean, the graphics, carry a much better, just is horror behind it because.
Hold the phone. You telling me the graphics from today's industry are better than the graphics from Resident Evil?
Yeah, Leon was maybe 100 polygons back in the day.
I cannot believe that for a minute.
I'm just saying, you gotta remember, back in the day, right? It was still like, oh my god, this is incredible and disgusting. Oh, yeah. This really carries real horror for me because I can only imagine what that would be like. And this is amazing resolution where their faces, I mean, there are moments in there where you almost can't tell that it's a video game, that characters look so good. And here comes, Birkin with the big gross eyeball on his arm, screaming about how much agony he's in. I mean, just the hours of, Job-like lamentation that he just goes through screaming about his daughter, just... My God, it's just awful.
Oh God, I have to play this now because honestly, Resident Evil 2 was one of my absolute favorite games. I must have beaten that game. I did the thing where you do you have to beat it within a certain amount of hours. I think it was like 7 hours or something like that, or there's a certain amount of time you had to beat it within.
Yeah,
and then
you get the bonuses.
You get bonuses, and then if you
cheat weapons and stuff.
Yeah, and if you beat it without healing and things like all these extra things, and I did all those.
They kind of rolled back a little bit on some of the super difficult things, but for the most part. You can still play through, and if you're hardcore enough, you get the bonuses. Or you could pay $5 and unlock all the cheats.
Oh, God, I hate that.
I was so excited when I saw that. Oh, I was like, I don't have to grind. I already beat my $5 characters on hard. I'm like, I'm not
take my money.
I'm not.
You are part of the problem, not the solution, my friend.
Hey, as long as I get to play a remake of Resident Evil 3.
Well, speaking of remakes, I wouldn't say that this set the internet on fire or anything like that. But did you see what happened with the whole Final Fantasy VII remake, where they released those pictures of Tifa and Tifa's? The massive Tifas.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, goes along with the game. She had massive polygon. She had
big polygon.
Yeah. So I guess they came down from the top brass that they needed to rein that in,
tone that down a little bit.
So now Tifas are less Tifa'd, I guess.
Yeah, well, Sephiroth had a long sword, so
yeah. Now they're gonna rein that in.
Excuse me,
he's gonna have a dagger
society
now.
Is offended.
That's obviously a phallic symbol, so now he's got a dagger.
So there's Final Fantasy VII. They're doing a remake, and I don't know if this qualifies as a remake, but I love the series. I love the game. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
I've never heard you talk about this game before.
Are you serious?
Never once.
One of my favorite games. It was made by Trokia Game Studio.
If you can't hear the sarcasm come through the microphone.
But they're doing a sequel finally, and it looks amazing. You have all the charm of the original game, updated graphics. I am so hopeful for this.
How long ago would you say the original game came out?
2004.
2004.
Just about, yeah.
Okay. So you've been pining for this game since 2004.
For over a decade.
Yeah. Okay.
I wanted something more. So and to top it all off, we're finally getting news. We've finally gotten videos. We've finally gotten gameplay, and we finally got Keanu Reeves to star in Cyberpunk 2077.
Hey, I am excited. It looks.
No one had a clue.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue, Keanu Reeves comes out. He's like, "What's up, samurai? We got a city to burn." I'm like, "Ah!"
What is going on? Like, how is Keanu Reeves all of a sudden the hottest thing on the internet? Like, I love the guy, don't get me wrong, but like all of a sudden, like, you know, Keanu Reeves is just blown back up again.
Well, I feel like he's always been an incredibly private person, and I feel like the past year or two, he's really come out of his shell and like made an effort to be public and, you know, doing vlogs and talking about, we're going to do Bill and Ted 2.
And I cannot wait for Bill and Ted 2.
That's going to be hilarious. I'm sorry.
Well, it'll be Bill and Ted 3, won't it?
3, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that you know,
especially if they play up the whole fact that they're older now.
Yeah.
Like, if they play up, like, they're much older and it's kind of like a, you know, almost like they're losers. Like, they really should have done something with their lives, but they really didn't because they're expecting this future where they were like, the kings of the world, basically, and because of changes from
now
what
they're not.
Yeah, and now they just kind of sit down just waiting for that to happen, and it's not happened yet. I live for that. If that's the storyline, that's amazing.
They have to Marty McFly the whole thing and go back in time and then stop their younger selves from being losers.
Yes,
after they fix the world in the first place.
Or what if they incorporate the whole Mandela effect thing in general into their storyline? That would just be phenomenal.
There's no telling, because now there's so many different ways to do time travel.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep bringing up the Mandela effect, and we haven't actually discussed it. I think we've discussed it in previous podcasts, but it's been a while.
Have we?
Or maybe we have. For those who don't know what the Mandela effect is, I'm going to try my best to explain it in a very simple way.
Inattentional blindness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. There's the theory, and then there's you know, everybody else's theories, as it were. But what the Mandela effect is it's basically people, like a large group of people, for some reason believed that Nelson Mandela died in prison, that he never actually came out of prison, you know, never became president, you know, that kind of thing. There even had been like some kind of textbooks or something like that.
It was a children's fictional, like they were writing fictional stories about what would happen in various social situations. And that was an excerpt one kid wrote.
So there was a large number of people who believed that he died in prison, never being released, never becoming president, nothing like that. And when people realized that wasn't true, they started looking into other things, you know, from their childhood or other memories that they had that, you know, might have been false, you know. There's so many of them. I can't even get into them. Like the Pillsbury Doughboy, you know, his what color his neckerchief is.
Blue.
You know, people say blue, people say red. It's white. It doesn't have a color, you know. But I thought it was blue. You know, there's a lot of things, like the Ford logo was the one that really got me, because I've driven Ford.
With that little wisp.
Yes, but the wisp I thought was at the end of the F or something like that. But it's like,
and we discussed that. And what was funny is I was looking at the damn logo.
Yeah.
And then you told me about the wisp. And I was like, oh yeah, I literally was looking at it, didn't notice it, and then saw it when you pointed it out.
And that
was just a detail that was just...
And that's the whole thing. So basically, you know,
a
lot of people believe it's just just either misremembering or, you know, because humans are notoriously bad at remembering things properly anyways, you know, so just a lot of people remembering things, you know, wrong. Or some people think that, you know, due to this large, is it, they call it the large, or they call it the giant? It's the large
Hadron Collider.
Yeah, collider. In Switzerland, the experiments that they're doing there, they believe have opened black holes and are now altering our past, present, future, that kind of stuff. So, either way, if you want to waste probably an entire month, just go on YouTube and type in Mandela Effect, and you'll do what I did and be down that rabbit hole for a good month.
What's really funny is and before it was called the Mandela Effect, I remember my mother just swearing left and right when I was younger that when she was in school, she was taught that after World War II, that they captured Hitler and brought him back to the United States, where he was put in prison and then subsequently executed.
Oh wow!
Like she remembered that, like learning it in school.
That's crazy.
I don't know. Maybe
actually, though, along that line, World War II. How many attacks on U.S. soil did Japan launch?
No, I don't know.
Well,
was Pearl
most
Harbor,
people,
and
yeah.
then there was
I only knew of Pearl Harbor, right? Well, apparently
it was the Harbor of Pearls.
Yeah,
Pearl Harbor.
No. Well, apparently, there was other attempts to attack U.S. Soil from the
Weren't
west.
Weren't they thwarted though?
Well, no. They actually created thousands upon thousands of these balloons that carried explosives, across the sea over to the U.S. to blow up on our soil and stuff like that.
That's wild.
I had no idea about this at all, and apparently one of them succeeded, killing 6 people.
Oh my God.
So it's like it's like the only really besides Pearl Harbor, it's the only U.S. soil attack with casualties from a foreign So yeah, it's crazy
up until
9/11.
Yeah.
But even then we weren't at war. That was a terrorist attack.
Oh yeah,
that wasn't even
a country action. Yeah.
So I was like, are you kidding me? I still have to research this, so don't get me wrong, but I happened to be in the shower letting the YouTube do its thing, and it went on to one of those Mandela things because I watched the Mandela Effect stuff for months, so every now and again I'll throw one in, and it's the newest Mandela Effect, things, and I'm like, what? Japan did what? So
that's something a madman would do.
I have to look it up because I'd never heard of it in my life, but again, that's
wild,
right? I'm like, what the hell?
What is going on?
I love it. All right. So we did the gamer news. Let's talk about comic book news. You like the X-Men?
I like the X-Men comics. I like the X-Men cartoons. The original run of Fox movies were okay. This new thing that they're doing with the new actors and they're young. I don't know.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. Disney's bought them out, so this Dark Phoenix movie was the last that came out. I'm actually not talking about the movies right now, but just on a side note, did you see Dark Phoenix?
No.
I would wait till it comes out on DVD. You could tell they were trying to set up for more than one movie. Before then the buyout happened. And so we'll end it now. The beginning starts off pretty good. There's a lot of setup and stuff like that. But I could tell by the pacing with how slow it was going. I was like, oh
the last movie was
the end of this movie is going to be
with Quicksilver and Armageddon or whatever the heck his name
was.
Apocalypse.
Yeah,
I thought it was great. Quicksilver was he was the best.
It was really good.
I enjoyed that.
I like Quicksilver in general in that series.
Well, the actor's good. I like him.
Yeah. So, in the actual X-Men comic book news, they are actually canceling all the X-Men titles soon. They're going to stop all the X-Men titles. All right. But the reason they're doing that is because a man named Jonathan Hickman, who I've talked about on the podcast before. Yeah. He's one of my favorite writers. He's actually going to take over the entire, X-Men line, and recreate the line so that we have a cohesive, well thought out storyline, and then after he's done that for probably a year, then it will branch back out to the other books and stuff like that and go from there. So he's rewriting the whole X-Men mythos, as it were, to correct all these, all the stuff that just makes the X-Men comic books, a pain in the ass to read, I don't know if you've tried to read X-Men comic books in the past, let's say 15 years or more.
Oh no.
But it can just be atrocious at times.
I do love the X-Men as a human story, though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, just the conflict and
well, because it's a great metaphor for homosexuality.
Anything.
It's a great metaphor.
It's a great metaphor for being a gamer and a nerd in a world of people who are against you.
Yeah.
That's what I took out.
It's a great metaphor for what it was originally, which was the metaphor for oh my goodness, I can't think right now, but the ideals between Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X and things like that, during the civil rights movement and stuff like that. So that's basically what the X-Men was, originally kind of a play on. So
was Magneto supposed to be Malcolm X?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We didn't land on Mutant Rock. Mutant Rock landed on us. All right, sorry.
When the Mutant Rock was made of metal, then he could.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's what's going on there. That's got me extremely excited. Like I just cannot contain my excitement for that. So I can't wait to see that coming out. A friend to the Nub, a friend of mine actually as well, named Anthony Cleveland. He has a book coming out from Mad Cave Studios in August. Mad Cave Studios is that comic book company that is giving me a chance to write a book and everything like that. So his comes out in August. It's called Show's End, and I can't tell you how excited I am about that. It's basically like a Dark Circus kind of book. It's got like a freak show element to it, but there's also some love and mystery and some horror. So yeah, I'm very excited to read that. It's going to be, the artist is Jefferson Sadzinski.
Sure,
Sadzinski.
That sounds like a good.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Sounds like a good name.
I got it perfect the first time, so that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, where are we at time wise?
We are at 30 minutes and 59 seconds.
Okay, so we'll go ahead.
31 minutes.
We'll go ahead and stop this episode, the first episode back of the Nub, Nerds United Brevard, and beyond.
Nub.
And I hope you guys listen to the next episode. All right, we'll talk to y'all later.